It's a very unusual piece.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my word.
I went to a church antiques fair and I saw it in the cabinet, and I think it must have been my husband's birthday.
Goodness.
And so I thought, oh, I'll buy that.
That'll do nicely. Now, his name isn't Nelson, is it?
No.
But we got a good idea who it is, haven't we? Did you know what it was when you bought it?
Well, I just thought it was a tie-pin.
Just that?
Yes.
And, well, it is, of course, a tie-pin, and it's a very exciting tie-pin with the most amazing context. I mean, can you guess at its context? You must have thought about it.
Oh, yes. The gentleman who did sell me it said it was connected with Nelson, but he didn't elaborate too much, and I can't really remember what he did say.
No, well, the great thing is that you really did get it, and it's terribly, terribly exciting. I think that what's important to look at, first of all, is the way in which the word Nelson is laid out in black enamel. It's champ-levé enamel. That means that the gold lettering is raised up, and then it's flooded with black enamel. And it's in a way in which mourning rings were phrased in the early 19th century. And that's a clue to the fact that this is a very personal relic of Lord Nelson. He died on the 21st of October, 1805, at the Battle of Trafalgar, and we know this only too well, really. And his big mistake was going on board wearing his medals, because he was a sure target for enemy fire. And of course, he did receive enemy fire, and he was shot and fell. And nonetheless, the battle was won. And I think it's perfectly possible that this may have been from a very close relative of his. So it's rather heart-stopping, isn't it?
It is really, yes. Considering it was one of the last things we thought about bringing.
Is that right? Well, I'm very glad that you did, really, because it's positively luminous. I mean, I think jewellery is a very funny thing. You can say that the most magnificent piece of diamond set jewellery is jewellery, and you can say that something very intimate and exciting and relatively worthless is jewellery too. This has no intrinsic value whatsoever. I mean, if it was melted down, it wouldn't be worth £15. Can you remember what you paid for it on that day?
I was trying desperately to remember, and I didn't know whether it was £8 or perhaps a little more than that.
Well, whatever it is, you overdid it, obviously.
It certainly wouldn't have been very much. No.
Well, heaven alone knows what it's really worth. I mean, there are great collectors of Nelson memorabilia. There are great collectors of Napoleon memorabilia. And I think that if this turned up at auction, it caused quite a stir. And I don't really know what to say to you. I can just tell you that this is a very small, almost radioactive piece of British history, one that's terribly, terribly exciting for me to find, and I'm going to venture £4,000 to £5,000 on it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm just amazed.
I'm thrilled.
Amazed.
I'm completely thrilled. I love it.
It was left by an aunt of my husband's, and we've no idea what it is at all.
All these pieces here, a little piece of opal. It's a very good use of opal.
Really?
Yes. The outside is actually rose-cut diamonds. In fact, there's one missing now. And it's set in a setting called middle grain. That's all these tiny little beads all around the edges.
Yes.
You've got a little blister pearl at the bottom and an oriental pearl, you see, higher up on the chain.
Yes.
But it's so beautifully made. The annoying thing about it, of course, from my point of view, there's no maker's mark on it.
So that colour is little slices of
Little slices of opal.
Oh.
I mean, the opal in itself, the intrinsic value is very, very small, but it's such a nice piece.
Yes.
So, have you got it insured at all?
Not specially, no.
I think you should.
Yes.
Not that you'd be able to replace it, but it would certainly hurt me if I lost it. So, talking in terms of insurance values and so on, I think you've got to be looking at somewhere around about the £3,000 mark.
Really, as much as that?
Oh, yes. It's a very unusual piece. Well, this is a most wonderful Art Deco brooch. Tell me who it was made for.
Well, I think it's my mother's. I think it was a 21st birthday present for her in 1938.
Oh, that's interesting. I've got a funny feeling it was made a little earlier than that, you know. There's various aspects of the design that point to it being just a tiny bit earlier than that, maybe 10 or 15 years. It seems to me a positive distillation of the Art Deco period, doesn't it? What parts of it did you think looked Art Deco particularly?
Well, the oblong and the big diamond in the centre.
Right. And funny enough, it's the sun rays that appear left and right that sort of interested me as a sort of Art Deco focus. And these strange conventionalized bunches of grapes. This is a sort of really a landscape, isn't it, in diamonds? And it's an interesting one too because it's very spirited. It's a really great Art Deco jewel, but strangely it's English, and actually we associate the very best Art Deco jewels with France, and so it's interesting for that too. I mean, I must say I do love it. My goodness, it's very enviable because it's exactly the right scale for everybody today. I think there's lots of people who wouldn't mind wearing that on a black suit, and because it's so colourless too, it's exactly what people want. So all of those things do add up to, you know, something really very desirable indeed, and with desirability comes value, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, have you had any thoughts about it being what its value is? Obviously it's
Well, I know its probate value of 1997, and that's all. It was 1,200 then.
Yes. Well, it does seem to me very low, to be frank. I think that this is a little work of art. It's the finest craftsmanship. It's also very, very beautiful diamonds. So I'm going to go a bit mad, I'm afraid. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that it's worth £8,500.
Oh, my word.
It's lovely. Crazy about it.
Yes, yes.
No.
The Shakespearean actor.
Oh, right.
Yes, well, his sister left it.
Oh, right.
That's
Well,
interesting.
it is fascinating. But I'm more fascinated by this because, first of all, you very seldom see an owl, and people just love owls. Secondly, it is a really beautiful Victorian diamond owl, really sparkly, got little cat's eye eyes.
What are those stones in its eyes?
They're cat's eyes.
Oh.
So, which is absolutely perfect. But it's beautifully made. The back is gorgeous, it's all lovely. But the thing is, it's an owl with humour as well. Whoever designed this has really given it the tilt of the body has given it a certain je ne sais quoi, which they usually don't have. Plus, it's a wonderful subject, and well, I love it. Do you have it insured by any chance? Probably not.
Oh, yeah, for 1,000, I think.
1,000?
Yeah.
Well, I would think that this really should be insured for something like 6,000.
I'll definitely take you out to dinner.
As soon as I saw this box, which was lurking in the bottom of your handbag, it said something very specific to me.
Yes, I realised it must have done. I couldn't believe you'd spotted it so quickly.
Well, the reason is that it's made of Hollywood, and it's a type of wood much favoured by a very famous Russian jeweller. Have you any idea who made this charming little brooch?
Well, when we first found it among my mother's effects, my daughter was looking at it and she said, that's Russian, I'm sure it says Faberge. And I thought, I can't believe that, because I've no idea where it could have come from in our family.
No. And she was absolutely bang on, because in the lid satin, and satin it is a most luxurious object, this. I mean, the case is just as beautiful in a strange way as the object in it. This is pure silk at the top, and it says K. Faberge, St. Petersburg, Moscow and Odessa. And it's an absolute bullseye. It's in perfect condition. The only thing that's a problem with it is that the pin has broken off, and that can be restored quite easily. And as you can see very plainly, it's in the form of a tiny little heart surrounded by diamonds.
Yes.
The stone in the middle, have you thought about the stone at all?
Not really. It's one I don't recognise at all. It's a faint green, is it?
It is a faint green. I think it's a zircon. It's got a very high refractive index. It flashes rather wondrously, and I think it's a green zircon. But the point about this jewel really is not anything to do with intrinsic value, because I have to say, the material of it is fantastically modest. It's a green zircon, really very low value indeed. The diamonds surrounding it are very low value, and the gold is, of course, completely negligible. But it's heightened with a little flash of yellow enamel, isn't it? It's very artistic. And if you look under the yellow enamel, you'll see that you're seeing through the translucent enamel onto an engraved ground. There's a sort of flecked ground there.
Oh, I see. I hadn't really studied it that closely.
Not even when your daughter read Faberge. You had a closer look then.
I don't think I really believed it.
No, you didn't believe it. Well, we've got to now, I'm afraid, because it jolly well is. I mean, it's really an extraordinarily wonderful find, really. See that funny little hallmark there? It stands quite simply for Carl Faberge. And then 56, which is the gold standard. Running down the back of it is a series of numbers, which actually you could live with it for a whole lifetime and never see. This is engraved with a little steel point, and it gives a sequence of numbers which refer to stock books. I've actually had the time to look at the London stock books and check whether this jewel is in there. Maddeningly, it isn't. if it had been in there, we would have known exactly how much was paid for it, when it was bought, and by whom it was bought. I think it's highly likely to have been sold in London. I can date it between 1903 and 1915 from the lid satin. It says Odessa here. That branch didn't open until 1903. It's rather like an archaeological site. There's lots of sort of pulls on it, tiny, tiny brooch, and you think, well, what's all the fuss about? This is, of course, a heart on a bar, and it probably meant love on some level or another. It's a most lovely, lovely find. I find it very touching, actually. This is a souvenir of Russia that's long gone by. When it was bought, it wouldn't have been a cheap object in any way. Having said that it's worth next to nothing intrinsically, Faberge was not a shop where you expected to buy things inexpensively. It was a shop for an Edwardian elite, really, with enormous spending power. I mean, luminous amounts of money, which we can really have no contemplation of either. And this was a little toy just taken off a shelf for a very specific meaning. It would have cost perhaps something like 30 or 40 pounds. Today, I think it might be worth £8,000.
Got a weak at the knees, good gracious.